All right, scrapbook friends, here we are with volume 4 of my family reunion scrapbook, still in the electric summer. I did create a custom spine for this album, but I don't like to put the custom spines on until the album is done. And I'm not sure where it is. I didn't realize it was not on until I started filming these videos. But before this goes permanently on my bookshelf, there will be a Smith Fam Reunion 2018 Volume 4 spine on the back of this. So Electric Summer, same title page that I used with the others, just a little bit different colors. My little niece, Cassie, is just absolutely adorable, and she was 2 years old at this reunion, and just, you know, they just don't get any cuter about than 2 years old. And she wore these little wings all over, all weekend long, and so there's just so many darling little pictures of her. I found this cool fairy wings clip art on the internet and created this little very fiddly title block, but I think it's perfect for this little page of Cassie. And I think this is a Noreen Smith sketch. It looks like a Noreen sketch with 2 4x8 pieces and 2 4x6 pieces. And this is with the Love Wins paper, which is sadly retired, but I loved it because one side was kind of greens and the other side was pink, so it could work for boys or girls. But this is my sweet little Cassie and her fairy wings. My daughter Katie and Cassie had a fun afternoon blowing bubbles, and of course we looked and took pictures of them. Positive that other kids played with bubbles during the weekend and no pictures were taken. But, you know, if you don't get your picture taken, you don't make it in the scrapbook. The title block is from Miss Kate Cuttables. And again, I love that opportunity to cut it out of whatever color cardstock coordinates with my album page. So I talked in video 1 about how I create these scrapbooks and I take them to the reunion. So I love these next 2 layouts because these are the pictures of everybody looking at the reunion photos from the previous couple of reunions. So this one that I'm scrapbooking right now is our 3rd reunion. We did one in 2012, one in 2015, and then again in 2018. So this trip, I only had to take 3 volumes to the reunion, which was only in Georgia, and I live in Alabama. This trip that I'm on this month, that by the time you're watching this, I will be at the reunion. I'm taking all 4 of this volume, plus the 3 from 2015, plus 1 from my parents' 50th wedding anniversary in 2017, plus the one from 2012. So my husband is already scolding me for how much weight that's going to put in the car on our cross-country drive, but I don't care. That's one of the things I love, and I love seeing this. We just left the albums on the coffee table in the living room, and I would regularly see people looking at them. So I made this fun little title. If it's not in the scrapbook, did it really happen? And this paper, I think, was called Crafter, and it was a freebie from last year. And this is the Diamond Arches border punch. And I think this is a project recipe, but I can't remember which one. It's an older project recipe, and I was able to adapt it to use with this Crafter paper. But so fun to just see the pictures of all the people, especially the little ones who weren't even born at the previous reunion, to see them all looking at the scrapbook. Just, you know, makes me happy. As a scrapbooker, to see people enjoying the things I've done is very gratifying. So the house had a little game room in the back. We don't have a lot of pictures from there because mostly the kids hung out there. And for whatever reason, we didn't get their pictures in the shared album that all the grown-ups shared too. But I have all these pictures of the kids playing pool. And so if you're familiar with the Music Man, you know, Trouble with the capital T, that rhymes with P, that stands for pool. I didn't put the rest of that, but I just did the Trouble with the capital T. And this is also a Noreen Smith sketch. This happens to be Party Time Blue. And I think it doesn't really look like a birthday sketch, but I still was able to use Noreen's sketch to create this layout. So this one I love the colors on this. I love these photos. probably my mom took them or my sister-in-law. They're probably taken with an iPhone, maybe with a camera. I don't know. We all took pictures, but they just feel very artistic. And so I did this layout just very with the red from the chair. That's kind of what I want to bring out, and then the black. And then I made this title just by finding an Adirondack chair picture and adding that. I don't know that I love that. I feel like that almost takes away from the layout itself. I loved the layout more before I put the title on than without it, but I just think this turned out great. And you know, it was a little scary to think, can I get away with a red background? I think this was from the Scarlet combo pack. But I wanted to, you know, use it together, and I really wanted to bring out that red. So I used that red background and the black lines, and I just think it looks very striking. This is actually the Art Nouveau project recipe. When I teach the project recipe classes to my customers, I always try to pick like the paper that I think is the least attractive in the pack so that it leaves the pretty papers for them. And turns out I love this. I just love the simplicity of it. Art Nouveau is very green and kind of a mustardy yellow. And these were kind of like the boring papers. But because of that, it's simple and elegant. Again, with that Mirrored Triangles Border Maker cartridge. And then I was just able to put these pictures of the cousins, you know, just sitting in the screen porch and hanging out. And I love it. Love it, love it. Of course, at a family reunion like this, nobody gets enough sleep. And so we had all sorts of pictures of people napping, mostly in the living room, but some of them in the sunroom and, you know, different places. And I was able to use the Little Dreamer collection, which is Creative Memories' current baby collection. And I just think it's so cute. And it's very simple. These are 6x6 squares of 4 of the colors, and then a 1.5 inch strip down here at the bottom, and then the little border. I think this must be 5 inches, so I was left with just enough to do these borders. And then I created this title just by finding a moon shape online. And this really reminds me of that the book, The Little Prince, if you're familiar with The Little Prince. Just kind of this font and all that. It makes me happy. And it makes me happy that I was able to use baby paper, even though there has not been a baby in my house for a long time. So my daughter Katie, when she gets around a camera, is always good for entertainment. And I end up with all these funny pictures of her, and they had to go in because they're funny and we like her. This is a Miss Kate cuttable title that I did. And I think this is probably a Noreen Smith sketch too. And it's super simple because it's just 3x12 inch strips on a background. I have these random pictures left over after I've kind of had scrapbooked everything. I had saved some of like my favorite pictures. This is probably one of my favorite pictures in the history of ever, of Cassie, but of just the kids. Some of these that didn't really go, I didn't want them to get lost on one of those other pages. So I put them separately here, just on this layout. I found this title. I think this is from lovesvg.com that has free SVG files that you can download, import it into Make the Cut and cut on my silhouette. And this was the Electric Summer, had this fruit paper. And I like fruit and I like the paper, but I've had a hard time using it, but I feel like it worked okay. And I know that this is a Noreen sketch, and I know that this exact same Noreen sketch is going to show up on another layout in this same album, which I don't usually like to do, but I was working out of order. And by the time I realized I had them in the same book, it was too late. So just pretend to be surprised. But I love these, just these cute, cute kids. So this was fun. The little town near where we were having our reunion had Wi-Fi. And so a couple of times parents would have to go in there to, you know, check in with their job or anything. So my little 2-year-old nephew went to the library, and apparently his mom, I guess, has a laptop, and he hasn't seen a wired mouse before because he was using it as a phone. This particular layout was inspired by an ad I saw on Facebook for an eye doctor. They had a pattern with all these kind of hexagons, and I screenshot it on my phone, and I just thought, okay, this can somehow inspire me. And so that's what I used to start how I did this. This is that Everyday Shades paper from the mystery box. This layout is completely scrap lifted from one that Noreen Smith did. I don't know that I've mentioned Noreen's blog. She blogs at organizedandcreativemom.com. She's also part of the Creative Life scrapbooking community. And her layout was a little fancier with a peekaboo pocket and stuff, but with kind of this, the house and the wood and all that, I completely got from her. This is the spring cottage paper. And I did not go, my mom and the cousins went into town, and this is all I have. I don't really know anything about it except that they stopped and got a picture with little Brer Rabbit, and I don't think they even went into the museum, but I love the page, how it turned out. So if you are a regular follower of my channel, you have seen this layout. You saw me create this layout. You saw that I originally started with a different layout as my sample, and then I created a second one, and I liked the second one that I made in the video better. So that's the one I've used. I pulled my pictures off and put it on this one. So this ukulele layout is one that you can see how to create. I did step by step, and I have a template. And then I just, came up with a title that I felt was what we were doing. And this one has a peekaboo pocket, and I did put a little tab so that people will know to lift it. When I put the page protector on, whoops, I will open it up, slide the page protector on, and then flip this over the top. And hopefully people will see this. I may go back and change this to like a little half circle, maybe in a different color. But hopefully people will see that there's a little bit extra. Uh-oh, I need to fasten that down. A little bit extra to see on this layout. So here we go, the last of the kitchen pages. There's actually 2 of them in a row that are the same. This is actually the staycation project recipe, but I used it with, I think this was from Festive Fourth paper, and I think it turned out great. And, it's kind of running out of kitchen titles when I came up with this one. But I just love it. Just all the pictures of us. Here's that table that I talked about in another video. I think it could seat like 16 or 18 people. So there's like 36 of us, so we didn't necessarily all get to sit at the table together, but we did the best we could. And just all the pictures of people eating, because it turns out that's one of the things that we really like to do. And all the families take turns cooking, so nobody's stuck in the kitchen the whole time, and everybody gets to eat. So here's just some pictures of the kids sitting out on the dock. This was a sketch from a Creative Memories virtual crop, and I used the retired deep blue sea paper on a dark blue background, and then where that sitting on the dock of the lake, where that came from. So I just had these 4 pictures, but I liked them and I wanted to put them in. And I think that the simplicity and the peace of this page makes a nice contrast to the busyness and craziness of this page. This is using the roundabout recipe template, more of the Electric Summer. And I think I counted when I first did this page and shared it on my Facebook, but I think it has 19 pictures on it, which is pretty impressive for a 2-page layout to have. Maybe it's not that many. Now I'm going to have to count 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 is almost 19, right? 17 pictures on one layout. And you can see I did the recipe template this way, and then I flipped it over and did it the other way to kind of give this motion, was kind of what I was going for. I did this side first, and I ended up cropping right here, and I wish I hadn't. I like it better when I left this piece square without following the circle that was in the, the circle has smaller, but I wanted to have as much picture as I could. But I think it's all right. And, plus much easier than dieting to just crop off the parts of your body you don't want anyone to see. So we talked about the piano. I have just these fun pictures of the piano, and I'm quite proud of this border. After I did this layout, they came out with the fringe punch, and the fringe punch actually makes a cute piano border, but this is using the Picket Fence cartridge, which is the cartridge that comes with the Border Maker system. And I don't think it gets a lot of love. I think, we all have it, and I rarely see it. So I punched this border on white with the Picket Fence, and under here is more of the black, it's all the way down with all the black lines. And then I drew a line, I think it's every ½ an inch, and then I just put a piece of paper over these little sections to cover up, or I trimmed off the pointy pickets. And And then I covered up these to make the keyboard pattern. And I think it turned out really nicely. You know, I have a lot of music pages and a lot of things that need musical theme for the layout. And so maybe I need to do a separate quick video on this. And if anybody's interested, let me know and I'll show you how I did that in another video at some point. This is one of my favorite pictures from the reunion. This is me outside by the pool, and these are the little 2-year-old twins. And they, of course, had to take a nap. You know, their mom made them take a nap every day, as good moms do. But we have these pictures of them, and they're just looking out the window at everybody playing in the pool. And it was so pathetic. And I just was so proud of my sister for knowing what was best for her kids in the long run and for everybody, and not giving into the sadness of no pool till after nap time. So this is one that I did with the new Circle Maker. And I mostly was playing with the Circle Maker, and I kind of created this layout before I knew which pictures I was going to put on. But I have these fun pictures, again, of, you know, people on their phones, but mostly little Cassie playing on people's phones. And so just use that with the concentric circles from the new Circle Maker, which is sold out but is coming back. And this is the boho escape paper. So this is front and back of the same paper, and I just kind of alternated it to create the layout, and I think it looks cool. So I can't wait to get to play with this Circle Maker some more. Here's the rest of my puzzle page. I'm not sure that I'm loving this because I had purchased this title pre-made from somebody. It's a little too big for my space. And so when I have this closed, it looks like it says Uzzlemania, but you'll have to just figure out to open this up that it says Puzzlemania. And these are just more of those same puzzle pictures. I had some of them in the first album, and here's the finished puzzles and just more pictures of the puzzles with another 6x12 peekaboo pocket. Okay, so the next page is probably one of the busiest layouts I've ever done in all my life as a scrapbooker, so consider yourself warned. So we had, in the house, there was this ball that had the little emoji. It was like a yellow ball with a little emoji tongue icon. Yeah, they didn't have it in the emoji stickers. About the same time, I guess it was last summer, Creative Memories came out with the little emoji stickers. And I purchased them not knowing what on earth I was going to use them for. And as I was looking for an idea to put all these pictures on one layout, I saw something on Pinterest that was like a pre-made die cut with a bunch of circles. And I decided to duplicate that. This is not a die cut. This is just circles cut with the custom cutting system. And then with the next size blade to make a mat. And I just kind of squished them all in here together. And I put a few pieces of the Electric Summer paper where I didn't have a picture to fit. It is super busy, super crazy, and I love it. I love the pictures of just the pool and getting to use the emoji stickers. But I also do feel like I have to apologize because it's crazy, crazy busy, but super fun. So the pool had an integrated hot tub, but you had to pay extra to have the hot tub heated. And it was August in Georgia, so we didn't pay to have the hot tub heated. So it was just a cool tub. It was almost like a little kiddie pool. Of course, you know, the kids wore their water wings and we were safe and we kept an eye on them, but they could be slightly less supervised up here in the hot tub. And everybody spent some time sitting there because there was a bench. You could sit down and you could just stay cool sitting in that hot tub. We had a little friend that came to visit us, two different little friends. You see, we had the dark green and the light green. And as I was scrapbooking this is another Noreen Smith 1-2-3 sketch. As I was scrapbooking this at one of my crops, I said, oh, I need a frog title. And one of my sweet croppers said, well, how about Who Let the Frogs Out? So I love it. I think that's just fun, a fun little title just for these frog pictures, which probably don't need to be saved in my scrapbook. But you know what? When you're doing 4 volumes of a scrapbook, you can put in whatever you want. So love these pictures just of people snuggling together our family does not get together as often as we would like. You know, individual families do sometimes get together, but we are spread across the country. At this time of this reunion, I think we had people in Florida and Maryland, in Chicago, in Idaho, and Utah, and we just don't get together as often as we'd like. And I love that when we do get together, you see the cousins hanging out, snuggling, and loving on each other. And I just have these sweet little photos, and I found this idea online somewhere. It might have been a Scrapbook Generation sketch, just with the little strips, and I think it turned out just really nice, really simple. This is the Spring Cottage paper, and just cut in 1-inch strips. So we're getting to the end of the pool pages. Some more of that Electric Summer. You can see I'm being a little bit more frugal with it now. This is that new geometric frame border punch. Another die cut SVG from Miss Kate Cuttables that I was able to cut using the colors that matched my pictures. And another Peekaboo pocket, but this one is on the end, on the outside. So when I put my page protector on, I'll have to slide it over. Oh, but good, I haven't trimmed this one yet. So I can show you what I've been talking about, how when you use these Peekaboo pockets, there's a little tiny lip that pokes off your page. Do you see that right there? So before I can fit my page protector on, I'm just going to have to take my scissors and trim this tiny little piece off. Otherwise, it's going to interfere with the page protector. So be aware that if you use this on a regular Jeeped page, regular CM page, you are going to need to trim that tiny little piece off so that your page protector will fit on. And what I'm going to do to put the page protector on is I'm going to take this piece out of the Peekaboo pocket so that I can just kind of curl this in so that the page protector will slide over it easily. And then I will put the paper, you know, the pictures back in it so that I can close it up. And I'll just leave that off because I'm going to do that as soon as I'm done with these videos. So some more pictures of them going down to the game room. Just kind of random, but some of the kids that I didn't see as much in the other pictures, and I wanted the pictures of everybody. I want everyone to feel represented and stuff in here. And this is another Noreen Smith 123 sketch. So organizedandcreativemom.com or Organized and Creative Mom on Facebook. Highly, highly recommend. And yet another Noreen Smith sketch. And this is the one that we had earlier with the pictures of the kids that said Endless Summer. Only this is flowers. And I didn't realize until I put these both in the same album that it was the same sketch. But they look so different that only people who watch this video, I hope, will ever catch it. And then this is a Miss Kate title. It was a little bit fiddly. And the one she did was more like sunflowers with browns and yellows. But I love that when you cut your own title, you can change the colors to be what you want. So I kind of went with the pink. A, because I love pink, and B, because that was the color. And I think the pink went better with the green than if I would have done the orange and brown that Miss Kate did. This sketch, this layout, I think, came from the CM blog. And it was using the that new Sunburst template. I think it's called Sunburst. And I love how it turned out with the gold metallic Creative Memories pen. And then you cut these into 4 squares and turn it angle. I had just this one picture of my 2 little nieces walking back up from the lake, and I wanted to showcase it. And I think that this is just a very dramatic, lovely picture. And then here's one that I did using the fringe punch. I've done a layout, I've done a video about the fringe punch and showed you how it worked. This is using Boho Escape. But we have this tradition of taking, getting those Biore nose strips and doing a little group nose cleaning thing. I actually think there might be some more photos of this, and I couldn't find them when I was having them printed, but at some point I may actually move this around and add in another layout right here to add the rest of those pictures, because I really don't want to miss out on any pictures. When you're doing 4 volumes, you want to put every single picture that you want. All right, we're almost to the end. This layout is completely scrap lifted from the CM blog. I modified it just a little bit because I did a double page layout, but it uses the emerald gemstone, and it was by Sachio Omitsu, who is one of our really creative blog contributors. So you can find this on the CM blog. Ugh, I don't know how you would find it. Maybe look for Emerald Gemstone and see if it shows up that way, or using scraps. It is a little bit time consuming, but it's not at all hard. And then this was a pre-made title that I had purchased. Actually bought it like a year ago and was able to just put this on. And so I did 2 layouts. So the second one is a little bit different. You know, I just did the borders rather than going all the way around, because that was kind of a pain. But doesn't it look pretty? That emerald gemstone. Aren't these cute, cute pictures of the cousins? So I just did the borders, and here's another 6x12 peekaboo. This one I've already trimmed off the edge, so you were lucky that I had that one that I could show you. Just the random pictures of the cousins. And now I have a blank page. And I haven't really known what I was going to do with it. But just in the last couple of days, you know, I finished this album the end of June. We're leaving the beginning of July to go to our reunion. And I decided that what I want to do with this page is going to have to wait. But I'm going to do little squares of all the people that were at the reunion with their name, because I have not journaled and written who is who on all of these pages. And I don't want to. I don't want to have to write every single layout who the people are when it's the same people volume after volume. Just like in my own family album, I don't necessarily, you know, tell the names of everybody in every layout for the year. I figure if you're looking at my scrapbook, you know, it's, you know, that it's my family. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this back page. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have time to do it before the reunion. I tried to go through and find some individual pictures of everybody, and I just don't have the time. I've just got too much to do before we go. So the album won't quite be done before the reunion, but before it permanently lives on my shelf, I'll have that done. And what it has taught me is that this year at the reunion, I'm going to make sure that I get an individual picture of every single person. Whether we do have a professional photographer coming this time, I'm going to ask if maybe she can do it. But if not, you know, a bunch of us have iPhones. They have that great portrait setting, but we need to make sure that there are pictures of everybody, because there are lots of pictures of the little ones who are especially cute. And there's a few pictures of the teenagers, and there's a few pictures of the grown-ups, but there are a few grown-ups that are in hardly any of these pictures. And I want to make sure that I have pictures of them for the next scrapbook. So that's what this blank page is going to say. And maybe I'll write a note on a Post-it and say, you know, if you haven't let me take your individual picture yet, please do, so that this blank page doesn't happen again next time, or something like that. So there you go, all 4 volumes of our Smith Family Reunion 2018. We were on Lake Oconee in Georgia, and as you can tell, we had a fantastic time. And I'm super excited that while you are watching this, I will probably be at the 2021 version. And so hopefully about 3 years from now, if not before, I'll have the next installment of our Smith Family adventures to share with you. Thank you so much for watching. It means so much that you guys enjoy watching my album flip throughs. If you have any questions about any of the techniques or anything in here, please feel free to ask in the comments. We are going to be traveling for a couple of weeks in July, and so it may be a few weeks before I can get back and answer you if I have to look up a link or a reference. But I do read the comments, and I appreciate them, and I will respond to you as quickly as I can once we get back at the end of the month. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a fabulous summer, and happy scrapbooking.